Alrighty, everyone. Welcome to the LSRL Family Spotting a Flu Cup Series here on Extreme Sim TV. In the booth tonight, you get double trouble. You got Matt up here along with Mr. Ronald Klein. How you doing, Ronald?
Doing well, Matt. Thanks for asking. I'm glad to be in the booth. We got rained out in real life. We're supposed to be down at Malton Speedway, but unfortunately, the rain down here is going to keep us from doing that. So I figured, heck, I ain't doing nothing else, and it's raining outside. I'll jump up in the booth with you and call the race tonight.
Well, it should be a lot of fun. It's going to be it's going to be interesting here at Phoenix over the next 125 so laps because Phoenix is a very flat racetrack. You got experience in the Cup car. How hard is this thing to drive at a place like Phoenix?
It all depends on the track temperature, which at this point the track is 110 degrees, so it's going to be a little bit slick out there. Even though these cars do have tremendous amount of grip, not only in the front end but the rear end. But we've been watching them run practice, they seem to be a little bit loose. So I would contribute that to the being flat and the temperature being up over 110 degrees. So it looks like we're getting ready to head into qualifying.
Yeah, I would agree with you there. And it looks like, by the looks of the spoilers, I do believe they run a low downforce package here at Phoenix, too.
I do believe so. This one seems to have a little more horsepower, a little more pickup.
Right now, we got Murata rolling out on track. Cameron Hearn, our winningest driver this season, current points leader, he's rolling out as well in the Plan B sales machine. Expect Cameron Hearn to run really well here tonight at a place like Phoenix. This has tended to be his deal here on these flatter tracks all year long.
And this is the second to last race, so there is a points championship up for grabs here. We don't know exactly how the points are going to come out, what kind of bonus points they give. We won't know that till the end of the night. Going into next week, Matt can give that information. But looking at Cameron Hearn and I believe the driver in second place in points is the number 78 of Kevin Winter. Just saw him momentarily. Cameron Hearn turns his first lap, drops down a pretty good qualifying time of 27:049. Here comes Kevin Winter. He's going to have to pick it up here on this second lap if he wants to take over that pole position.
Yeah, and that's the thing, 27:05. That's pretty quick. I think Cameron could probably get it in the 26s maybe. But of course, your front two, like you talked about, in points right now, top of the board. And would you really expect anything less? The two guys leading the points can start at the top of the grid here tonight if it all works out for them. And that is a good time for both cars. Cameron, of course, that 27.0, and Winter back there 27.1. I think that's going to hold up pretty well here.
I think Cameron was unable to run a better second lap. I think Kevin actually ran a faster lap on his second lap. He ran a 27.174 on his first lap, and then he did a 27.112 on his second lap. And that's that's less than, well, not less than, it's about a half of 10th. So less than a tenth separating first from second. And then you can see Dylan Gonis just put down a burner lap of 27.119. So we're in the thousandths of a second there. Derrick Garrison, as you mentioned before we started the broadcast, another very quick driver, going to be rolling off fourth here. Now, this is assuming nothing changes because there are quite a few cars that have not qualified yet. I don't see a lot of big name guys, but I don't know all of these guys either. Some of these guys are carryovers from the Wednesday night series that I was broadcasting, so I do know some of them. But of the names that are still left, I don't really see somebody who's going to top Cameron Hearn or Kevin Winter at this point.
10-4. And I tell you what, you take a look. How hard is it for Derrick? We see him right there in fourth. He's competing tomorrow night for a championship. He's racing here. How hard is it to get ready for two tracks at one time? Of course, tomorrow being Homestead and here at Phoenix, two totally different racetracks.
Two different racetracks, but it's still the feel of the car. Every time you get in the car, no matter what track you go to, the more time on it, in the car, learning what the car can do, can't do. The package may change a little bit, but time in the car is going to help him. I would bet money that he'll probably be on the simulator tomorrow, running, or maybe even later this evening, running practice at Homestead. Maybe put up a room himself or something. I've done that in the past when I've been in the championship for. Um, Trying to take the coveted championship, and then there's other times where I've just felt comfortable at the remaining racetrack, and just said, I'm good. I don't really need practice.
And forward, you pull me and hop in a truck and tear it up in the first 5 minutes. Do that too, but right now, Murad out there on the racetrack, kind of practicing his donuts. I think he's the last car out there. We got 22 seconds left here. So it looks like we were correct in the very beginning there. Cameron Hearn and Kevin Winter both going to start out front on pole in second. So that's going to be interesting to watch that battle all night long.
It will be interesting because it is a longer race. We got 125 laps here. I'm not sure about the tire sets. I don't know what they do for tire sets in this series. They had done 5 sets prior to, so I don't know if it's the same over here, but we do have stages tonight. So a lot of different things going to be going on.
Yeah, we're looking at 35, and I think it's 65, 30, and 65, something like
30
that.
and 65.
Yeah. And I believe it is 5 sets over here as well, if I'm not mistaken. Let's take a look at your starting grid here. It's going to be Cameron Hearn, Kevin Winter, front row. Now, like we said, going on, it's going to be a great battle there between those two guys. And then, of course, you brought this up. You got Dylan Gomez there and Mr. Derrick Garrison in second. Both guys strong. You got Aaron Hearn. Hermie Sadler out here in the number 9. Hermie right there, always strong as well. In row 3, row 4, Anthony P. Galligan, Mike there in 8th. Joseph Marana, John there in 10th. Irie and there and Jeffrey F.H. Converse in 12th. 13th is Landon, Dan Witt 14th. 15th, Corey Shepard, and Leonard Frost 16th. And row number 9, Andy and Nick right there rounds that row out. And Dan Worley rounds out the field in 19th here tonight. And I think our broadcast partner may be taking delivery of his Subway over there, so we'll give him a minute, but we're going to go racing here in just a moment. So if we go green flag here tonight, folks, it's going to be 56 minutes of racing action here to expect from Phoenix. That is if we go green. Of course, we do have those 2 stage breaks we know we're going to get, and anything else we get in between that. The pace car brings them off of pit road. We will get ready for green flag here tonight. Kevin Winter, man, he was a different paint scheme here tonight for that 78 as well. And keep in mind, the backstretch is not technically open for this configuration. You see the cones there? That is the non-open version. And I may be wrong, but I believe if you go down there, iRacing will give you a penalty if that is closed off. So Cameron Hearn right there in the Plan B sales machine will bring them to green alongside Kevin Winter. That's your front row, Ford and Chevrolet. Pace car peels down on the pit road here. We are ready to go green. And green flags in the air here from Phoenix International Raceway. The LSRL Family Fighting Flu Cup Series is underway. Thundered into turn 1. That's going to be Cameron Hearn on the bottom. Kevin Winter on the top side. Hearn, great move.
Kevin Winter got a very good start. He's going to have a lot of momentum on the outside, but preferred line's going to be on the inside. Kevin Winter does a little bit of a pinch job there. Thinks a little bit better of it here on the first lap. That's going to allow Cameron Hearn to edge slightly forward. I think he'll pass him here in 1 and clear him.
Yeah, no, he actually was able to fight. Cameron Hearn got clear Kevin, but Kevin did a great job crossover. And you see those cones down there, Ronald? We was talking about it. With this layout, I don't think you can go below that, can you?
No, you cannot.
So Kevin doing a wonderful job there. He'll pick up the lead.
Cameron Hearn sideways.
Yeah, he got loosey-goosey off of turn 4, Ronald.
We talked about the track temperature, folks. The cars are a little bit loose. Here comes Dylan.
Oh, no.
Up into the 67. That's going to put the 67 into the wall and bring in a caution.
That is exactly what the 67 of Cameron Hearn did not want. early on trouble. And that Plan B sales machine torn up. Let's go to our Extreme Sim TV replay here tonight. And take a look at what happened. Just hard racing up here at the front of the pack roll. Wow.
I think Dylan may have gotten into the corner a little bit harder than he intended to. I don't think this was anything malicious and intended at all. And I don't know that Cameron knew that he was going to make the move. Cameron was pretty tight down there. I don't think that he knew that Dylan was going to actually go for the move.
Yeah, it's almost like he arced the car like he never even knew that he was there, right? It's like, look this again. Cameron just didn't expect, you're right, Cameron never expected Dylan to be there. And up into the outside wall. Now,
he hit the wall hard, but it may have not done as much damage as just hitting the wall like with the front corner. The front end does not look that bad. He may actually be able to somewhat salvage this night.
Now, we're going to see him coming to pit road here. Question is, what they're doing for fast repairs here. Does he have one? That's going to be the question. And you're right, even if he doesn't, that front end of that Ford Mustang doesn't look bad at all.
No, it looked like he took most of the hit with the right rear. And as long as in iRacing with the simulation damage, as long as it didn't shift that rear end over, he should be relatively okay.
No fast repair here, so he's having to get work done to that race car. Man, still, regardless if he's okay or not the situation you want to be in. And he just exited out, Ronald, of this race. What in the world?
That is going to put him dead last. So big points opportunity for Kevin Winter. We don't know. We know that he's 40-some points back, but we don't know stage points if there are any. We don't know about the bonus points for sure. Things have not been real clear. But regardless, Cameron Hearn must have had enough damage that he felt like he was not going to be able to be competitive enough and has left.
Wow.
On that note, Dylan Gonis was given an EOL penalty, so I think Dylan probably owned that. I do think that he went in a little bit hot. We're not here to put any blame on any driver. We're just here to call it as we see it. I won't place any blame. I just do think that Dylan Gonis got in there pretty hot, and I think that Cameron Hearn may not have expected that.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Even if he got in there hot, it's not like you can just jam on the brakes. If you got a water rear brake in the car, you can very easily spin yourself out.
Pace car is off, about to go green here, waiting on Kevin Winter.
Green flag,
He
green
fires
flag.
off, loud pedal goes down. He's going to shoot away from Derrick Gerson and Cameron Hearn. Also note on YouTube, Cameron Hearn just came on and said 15 minutes of required. She's done. So
Wow.
with 15 minutes of required repair, he knows that it's just probably not worth
Not worth the effort of sitting there, right? You're done. Your night's over. Put her in the truck, go home. But again, we don't know how the points will shake out, folks at home. We don't know, so we're not going to speak on it yet. But this could be huge for Kevin Winter going if he can stay up front. So we're 8 complete. Winner out front. Battle for second right now, Derrick M. Garrison and Mr. Aaron Hearn. I want to touch on Aaron Hearn for a moment. Of course, I've said this before this season, in the shadows of Cameron a little bit, but he is really coming out on his own the end of the year here, and right now inside the top 5 here at Phoenix.
He had a breakout race at Dover where he admitted that Cameron, his brother, was kind of coaching him a little bit, telling him what he was doing wrong. And ever since then, when we were covering the Xfinity Series, he was looking stronger, and it's obviously carried over to these cars here.
No. Cameron around front straightaway, or Aaron around front straightaway, and Gonez caught up in it as well. No. Well, we jinxed him, Ronald.
The broadcaster's curse.
And Gomez's car is absolutely killed on the front end of that machine. Oh,
I'm rolling the tape back here. Coming down the backstretch with Cameron Hearn.
Aaron just, oh, and Gomez nowhere to go. Looks like the car just got away from him there.
Wow, it snapped loose in a hurry.
It has to be this track temp, right? It has to be.
It's definitely a track temperature.
I mean, this car goes from stable to not stable in a blink of an eye. And on this simulator, I don't care what you do, when it snaps that fast, you're not going to catch it.
The best you can hope for is to kind of put it into the wall and take the minimal amount of damage.
And I think the one that got the worst out of that's probably Dylan Gomez.
Oh, yeah. Dylan has no front end whatsoever. Cameron hit it head on. He hit the wall head on, so he's going to have quite a bit of damage to repair. They both may have the meatball flag for required repair. This could actually potentially put a couple of drivers out of the race, in which if I was Cameron Hearn, I'd probably get back in the sim and run the rest of this race, or at least enough laps to put me in front of whoever. This could be very big.
10 of Thorn. Well, I tell you what, speaking of the meatball flag, and forgive me, I don't have the name right now. I'll get the name to you next week. There's actually a company on Facebook now, Ronald, that's making custom flags to go on your rig that's got the meatball flag to it as well. Like a whole flag setup.
So that I know of. And there goes Dylan Gonis to the garage area. He has parked it for the night. And here comes Cameron Hearn back from the garage. You might see Cameron Hearn, as soon as his repair is done, you might see Cameron Hearn go out and try to get a couple positions here.
You know what he did there? He left the lobby, and if I'm not mistaken, does your pit repair timers keep going while you're outside the lobby?
It does.
So he was able to go, check out the broadcast, whatever, wait on it to count down, come back in here, and then get back in the car and roll.
Yep. So that was probably about 5 minutes. So he'll probably have roughly just under 10 minutes left. The caution saves him from going a ridiculous amount of laps down. If it would have stayed green, obviously it would take a lot more. But with Dylan Gonis going out, he's going to be 7 laps down. He'll probably be 8 laps, 10, 12 laps down. But this could come down to, think about that for just a second. What if it comes down to 1 point? What if Cameron Hearn wins by 1 point by coming back in here and overtaking Dylan Gonis?
Yeah, because I think Dylan's done, right? I think the motor on that car is killed.
He took it to the garage, and he is out of the race. Now, that's not to say that he can't come back later either, but if Cameron can get back out and get ahead of him, seriously, if it comes down to 1 point, could you imagine that? By him getting back in that car and going back out there running the rest of this race with a damaged car, he could potentially save himself from losing the championship.
Yeah, exactly. That 1 point, that's all it takes. Now, then, that's the thing. That's at least 1 point that we know that would be made up. Maybe more. We don't know. But at least 1 point. That could be the difference, like you said. In a P2 finish and a P1 finish at the end of the year, man, that could be big. He can just roll around here. He's just got to make it, about 7 or so laps to overtake Dylan. Just keep that car together. And the
those belts tight. Here we go. Kevin Winter fires off, gets another great restart. It's going to set him up nicely going into turn 1. And don't be fooled, the number 157 on our scoring sheet is the number 8 out there on the racetrack. Derrick Gerson. Anthony Giulianos says he wants a piece of this top 3.
Definitely right there on the bottom, trying to get under Derrick Gerson. And not going to be enough right now, but Anthony having a good run here tonight inside the top 3 here, buddy.
I'm watching a little bit further back. Landon Quisenberry, kind of new to the league, but he's been pretty remarkable in terms of how young he is to the simulator. He's only been on the simulator, I believe, a little over maybe a month or two at this point now. Um, Amazing his ability to grasp what needs to be done as quickly as he has. He's currently running in the 7th position in a field of looks like 19 cars, so doing a pretty good job. I saw the 163 in practice. Um, Hopefully these guys will settle down just a little bit here because we've seen that the cars do get loose. And I saw both of these drivers struggle with loose cars in practice.
Yeah, and what about the 66 there as well? I haven't seen him, period, in this league, and he's inside the top 3.
Yeah, he just passed Anthony Giuliano for the 3rd position. Agree. I have not. I've never seen or talked with Ira. Not sure how he pronounces his last name, but I'm gonna guess it's Colas. So, sounds like a racer's name, Ira Colas. I mean,
Sounds like a F1 driver.
sounds fancy. So, maybe Ira in the 66 Pepsi machine is gonna shock us tonight here and take it to the front.
Yeah, exactly. It kind of sounds like a F1 driver, to be honest.
Don't look now. Derrick Gerson is slowly reeling in that number 78 car of Kevin Winter.
Derrick doing a great job there, Ron, and I tell you what, it's been a heck of a show out there as well.
He's got it down to 3/10. It was about 4/10 the lap prior, so he's just ever so slightly chipping away at this lead. Again, 125 lap race tonight. We're only on lap 20 of the 125, so still 105 laps to go. So my favorite thing to do in races is strategy. Sometimes I just don't have the speed. This year been really off. Strategy has helped my teammates. My strategies have helped my teammates, but it hasn't really helped me. So if you're a guy like Kevin Winter and the guy behind you happens to be a tick quicker, sometimes that strategy can come into play and give you just enough breathing room to make all the difference in the world here.
Yeah, and see, I've seen this happen with Derrick on Saturday nights as well, as he can be really quick, but every now and then he'll get too fast, burn the tires up, and then the guys will be able to run him back down. So I'm with you. I think the strategy for Kevin here, Derrick's a little bit faster. We'll try to save your equipment, come back and get him there in a little bit.
Okay, so Cameron Hearn back out on the speedway, now being shown 9 laps down. Dylan Gonis now being shown 10 laps down. So one more lap, and that is 1 position. I don't think that Cameron will get out of the car after it's done. I think he's going to go ahead and probably run this one through. We do know that we have a stage caution coming in roughly going to be 6 laps when they cross the start-finish line. Derrick Gerson and Kevin Winter have kind of leveled out. It's staying at about 3.5 tenths. So the big question will be, the bonus points. We don't know for sure what they do for bonus points, but that may be the story of tonight. If Kevin Winter finishes this stage up front and somehow manages to finish the second stage up towards the front and then finishes very well, he could have a very good points night and cut that lead that Cameron Hearn has down. Flip side of that, Cameron Hearn coming back out and running. Very smart on his part because
that's 1 point, right? At least.
Well, not only that, but we're about to have a stage caution, and while I do think that these guys are going to settle down a little bit, there is that potential on the restart when we go back green from the stage break that a similar issue may happen again. Somebody might get loose, somebody might get damaged, and they might go out of the race. Now, it'll take Cameron another 11 laps to catch them if they happen to go, in pits for repair or out of the race, but that could be another position. So there's 2 ends of the spectrum here tonight. The worst case scenario, is Cameron Hearn. Best case scenario tonight is Kevin Winter. So I'm rooting for both of them because I'd like to see a really close battle for the championship.
Yeah, I would too. And think about this. This could get, in theory, like you talked about, next week, Winter could be in swinging range, right? If this goes right. But right now, Derrick Garrison is there in that A-Shock machine, and he is going to try to put the pressure on Winter. Okay, the question now, with just a few laps to go, how hard does Winter fight to keep that lead for whatever it may pay out, if it pays out anything? I think I'm going to fight pretty hard here for a stage win.
Yeah, if there's points awarded for the stage, I'm gonna drive the car hard. But he drove in too deep. He's gonna keep the momentum off. That is his only saving grace. He's kind of doing a diamond in turns. I call it 3. It's not 3 and 4 to me. This track to me has 3 turns. We just went through 1. This is going to be 2, and then the final corner I just call it 3 because I just don't think it's a 2 corner type thing, but 3, 4, whatever you want to call it, as we come to lap 30. Now I believe that everybody has to.
Yeah, we're one. We're one. Should be 1 to go here. You would think at the end of 30. We'll see. What do you think? You think Garrison can get there before the yellow comes out? Here we go.
I think Kevin Winter lifted. I think he thought the caution flag was coming out. He lifted, and he pretty much kind of gave that one away.
Oh.
He's gonna try to fight.
Yellow's out now. Yellow's out now.
He got it back just before they threw the caution.
Wow. The side-by-side finish to stage 1. Winter hangs on with a great run. Congratulations to Kevin Winter on the stage victory there. As we're 31 and 125 and the first stage break of the evening. Ronald, what did you think about stage number 1?
It had its highs and it had its lows. You know, Kevin Winter doing exactly what he needs to do. Cameron Hearn, a victim of unfortunate circumstances. You know, I don't watch it and place blame. I think that there was just a really bad situation. If I were to look at it very closely and dissect it, I could probably tell you more. But that's not what we do here on Extreme Sim TV. So just a victim of circumstance. I think at this point, it's really Kevin Winter's night to make what he can of it, you know, make the most out of it and make Cameron Hearn, you know, stay on the racetrack and hope that some of these other guys fall out. Because as it stands right now, Cameron Hearn is in 18th and Kevin Winter is in the number 1 position. Now, we have a lot of laps to go, but that's 17 points difference.
Yeah, bare minimum, that's 17, right? And you start looking forward if this works out for him, you know, that could maybe put you in swinging range.
And it would probably take another bad night, but I mean, stranger things have happened. Last night in another series, one of what I would call one of the best drivers in iRacing, you know, other than pros, obviously, just made a mistake. He came into pit road a little bit too hot. It was the finale. He was in the final 4, and he sped going onto pit road, and it ended his chance for the championship. And to be honest, I kind of internally, without saying it on the air, I kind of had picked him to win the whole thing. So you just never know. I mean, it takes one mistake.
That had to be a gut. Oh man, to lose it that way. Oh man.
It definitely was.
And think about it, it's something like that's so easy to do too.
It can be 1 mile per hour. You can be 1 mile per hour over, and you will get a black flag and have to sit there for 40 seconds.
And here's the thing, you start getting a little bit too greedy, trying to get more and more and more, trying to make up time on pit road. And like you said, that's split seconds all it takes.
Yeah, but when you're running against the best, and I'm not saying the best in iRacing, but the best guys in that league last night. Nobody makes a mistake. They all come out together. The next time they go in, one guy makes a mistake, then the other guys don't. I mean, and they hit it perfect. So he had to do what he did. He just made that one mistake just a little bit too fast. We are side by side lined up, double file going down the back stretch. Looks like we're going to go back to green flag racing as we will be coming to lap number 35. Looks like Kevin Winter holds on to that top spot. Derrick Gerson holds on to that second place. Anthony Giuliano, I believe, moved up because Ira Colas was in third, so he loses one position. We're about to go back green flag racing. I called a couple of these starts. I'm going to let Matt get this one.
Alrighty, guys, here we go. We're going to come back to green. Enter stage winner of stage 1 alongside Derrick M. Garrison coming out of turn 4. Flagman's going to put the green flag in the air. We're back underway, and again, Winter, great jump. Garrison, not so much. He's going to have Anthony to his inside as we roll to 1 and 2. Anthony will pick up second there. Great run for him. Ira right there in third. Everybody immediately pretty much single file once again here. 35 will be in the books this time by, and Kevin Winter on rails out front with Anthony giving checks. Anthony's going to get a decent run off forward. Not going to get anything done there. Back in the pack a little further. Everybody single file. There's Converse there as well. Everybody great restart there to get this thing back underway. And I think they're going to try to take their time here as you see the battle for second heating up. Garrison going to drop down and jump underneath. And there it is. So Garrison got it. But I tell you what, all this battling back here, that's going to let Kevin Winter kind of stretch his lead out now to 0.8 of a second right off the bat.
And that's what Kevin was probably hoping for. To get a little bit of breathing room. He knows Derrick is quick. This will allow him to try to set a pace, not burn his stuff up, and kind of see what will happen. Let's take a look back at Hermie Sadler, one of my favorite guys to cover in all of the series, all the different leagues that he runs in. Hermie is just one of those guys who goes out there and he kind of hangs around in the back, and then at the end of the race, you're like, he's not Kevin Harvick in terms of where did he come from, but in iRacing, he is definitely, where did he come from? He'll be running around the back, and then just all of a sudden he'll just magically be up front towards the end of the race. So
we got smoke billowing out of the 62 machine. Have my Cameron Hearn. He's up top, and that is not good. Oh wow, Cameron having a motor issue here. He's going to go to the bottom. And that thing's going to give up here pretty soon as it falls.
Yeah, I think he'll he's trying to get off the racetrack to make sure that it does not bring out a caution. I don't know if it's given up on him completely. I don't think so, because usually once it blows, it stops smoking. He may have had some optional that he didn't take. He may still be able to salvage it. He may be able to go down pit road. Actually, he's gonna run it till it blows, it looks like.
He's gonna take the yee strategy of just running it until it pops. Which, well, can you blame him at this point?
No, I think it's probably the right move. There's not much he can do.
As we got Winter out front leading. Now, I want to touch back on Hermie Sadler. Yeah, I see Hermie everywhere, it feels like. Like, Hermie, basically, at least 4 or 5 leagues I know of that I cover, he pops in and out of.
It's pretty cool to see these guys, hit the streets with just the average everyday person. You get to say that you raced with a NASCAR driver on a consistent basis, not just by chance in in some random lobby.
Right.
Derrick Gerson, you don't have to change camera to him, but Derrick Gerson closing the distance ever so slightly. He's down to about 6.5 tenths. He was about 8 tenths back. Giuliano not able to keep up with these guys. He's fallen 2.2 seconds back. Ira Colas is now basically on the back bumper of the number 17 2.7 seconds back. He's going to dip his inside here, overtake the third position. Just behind him, Sean Huffstutler. Not familiar with Sean, but it looks like he's also moving on up. There was a TV jingle about that, moving on up.
And 4 on that one, he is. I tell you what, you know what's funny? If you're moving on up and you get into some of these races like you talked about, I don't think people at home realize how competitive it's
Oh, it's super competitive. Some of these guys can be in a complete league of their own, and you're not going to see them all night long. And that may be the case with Kevin Winter and Derrick Gerson. They may be in a complete different zip code than everybody else. Time will tell. We'll see if Ira can close that gap at all. He's at 2.7, so you check back in like 5 laps and see if he's made a dent from the 2.7. Anthony Giuliano not able to keep that pace. Sean, we don't know because he is moving forward, but we'll see if same thing. He's 3.5 seconds back when we get to lap 50. We'll see if he's 3.5 or less. The guy on the moving on up is Derrick Gerson. He chopped that lead in half. He's now 0.3 of a second back. Joseph Murata, we don't know. I've been watching him. I have not been watching him close enough. 5.5 seconds back. Corey Shepard, 6.1 seconds back. Dan Witt, 6.9 seconds back. Mike Alo, 7.6. Leonard Frost, 9 seconds back. Converse, 10 seconds back. Quisenberry, there's a battle there between Quisenberry and Converse. Quisenberry just overtook Converse, but he also Quisenberry also has a little bit of damage to his rear deck lid and looks like his left rear bumper.
with that damage on that car is not going to help him. Tell you what, where's Thunder and Enthusiasm? We're only about 50 laps away from the station.
Well, at the beginning of the broadcast, you said it was only going to be about a 50-minute race in terms of if we stayed green flag and so on and so forth. So the race will progress pretty rapidly here. If we don't have any more cautions, we get to the stage here at 65, which is 17 laps from now, and then we'll run the last 60 laps under green flag.
Well, I tell you what, track temp right now is
battle up front.
I'll tell you what, track temp right now, 101 Ronald, I think it kind of went down a little bit.
The track temp has dropped. It was at 110 degrees. The track temp is dropping. Kevin Winter fast out of the box, long run speed. He starts to suffer a little bit. He has lost that 0.8 of a second lead. Really looks like he's throwing the car in hard.
Yeah, he about lost it there, didn't he?
He got her pretty sideways, and he drives deep. He diamonds the corner, and he is able to keep momentum, so it does keep Garrison at bay. But if Garrison drives it in similar to him, just a line lower, it is going to cause, or it should cause Kevin Winter to have to check up a little bit and not get back in the throttle and turn back down.
Right here we got lap traffic at 8 right there in front of him. Dan going to give 78 the bottom, but did that hurt Winter? Hurting that diamond a little bit he's been doing?
I don't think so. He actually kind of stretched it just a tad. He's back up to about 0.3. You can tell guys are starting to struggle. They got their setups wrong. Now this is a fixed setup, but there are things that you can do to the car to help tighten and loosen the car with braking and steering input ratios and whatnot. A couple of these guys have definitely made mistakes on what they were doing there. Aaron Hearn will probably be the next car to potentially go a lap down here with just 13 laps. Make that 12 laps now in this stage. I like the diamond that Kevin Winter's doing, and if you notice, Derrick Gerson next time by He's doing pretty much the same thing through 3 that Kevin Winter's doing now. So think that Derrick may have burned his tires up a little bit.
Yeah, I think so. And as he's gotten behind him, I think he's kind of adapting to what Kevin's trying to do anything to catch him here. And I think this is a learning for the long run, right? When we go back to after this stage, we're gonna have like a 55 or so lap run, longest green flag run ahead of them of the night. So I think right now you're learning what you can do that. 5 to beat. Everyone is kind of, for the most part, instead of the front two, kind of a little bit spread out here.
Yep, Quisenberry and Briganti are kind of
The yellow
one
flag is
two.
down.
Caution.
Yep, I heard the crunch. Waiting to see who it was. It was Aaron Hearn.
A night that started off so well for him, and then we gave him that broadcaster. Never straightened out after.
Sometimes these cars can just snap, and he almost had it saved.
That time, I think it's a quarter impact to him first time.
Yeah, he's taken it to the garage. He has parked the car, gotten out, and he's on his way to the motor code.
Unfortunate for that's going to give us what, 4 cars out of the event, and Nicholas Cameron going to go all out race.
Well, I'll tell you what, if Cameron Hearn did not blow that car up, I would let that thing sit there for as long as it needs to. He can make up 2 more positions just by going back out there. And I know he probably don't want to, but if that car did not blow up, let the required do its thing, let the optional do most of its thing, so it'll cool back down. The engine will probably pop, but if he would be able to go out there and run 27 laps, he gets 2 more positions, 2 more points.
Got that too, and then as we see everybody coming off pit road 4 for tires. What do you think? We had a scheduled stage break at 5. I'm gonna wonder if they're gonna count the stage breaker. Don't know.
Usually, I mean, I don't know what their rule is, but usually it's like a 5-lap rule if it's within like 5 laps of the caution. So you might still see a stage caution thrown here. I think we'll probably go back to green on lap 60, coming to 61. That'd be 4 laps, technically 5 because they complete the entire lap. So I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, it's going to be major close here. Well, and does it change? If, okay, let's go off the theory that they don't. It really doesn't change your strategy too awful much. You're still going to have a pretty long run lead now.
Well, we don't know that because we don't know what the fuel mileage is in these cars. So at 65 to 125 is basically 60 laps. From here, you're adding, we're still under caution, so they might burn a half a lap, but you're adding 5, we'll call it 5 more laps to the run. So now instead of a 60 lap run, now you got to run a 65 lap run, which is probably just a one-stop race regardless, but you never know. It might be maybe 32 laps per run, and then they would have to take a splash of fuel at the end or something. So who knows?
Right. We're at 59 or 125. Green flag will wave once again here in a moment, Ronald. We'll get back underway, and all these questions we have will be answered here in the next little bit, buddy.
Yes, they will. I think the big question of the night is, can Derrick Gerson find a way to run with Kevin Winter, short run or long run?
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? As we get ready to go back to green, 60 on the board. The question of the night: which of these front two
Green,
will
green,
pull away?
green.
Can somebody else get up there and get it done? 60 on the board. Green flag back in the air. And we're back underway at Phoenix. Great start for both cars on the front row, and they'll be side by side behind them. Aaron, right there on the bottom. And look at that. There as well. And battle for the race lead also. Oh, we got a lot going on. And here comes Derrick Gerson trying to take advantage of the fresh tires to get around Winter, and he's going to do it this time. He'll move that A-Shock machine to the race lead here. A great job by Derrick and Garrison taking advantage of their own.
You got a very good start there on that restart. And that's what truly set this whole thing up. I think that Derrick is going to be better in clean air than Kevin was. So I could be wrong. We'll have to wait and see. But I think that Derrick is a little bit better in clean air. If there's a caution, if there's still a stage caution coming, Kevin Winter is probably the most deadly. When it comes to braking, he is the most deadly person in the sim. I've never seen someone be able to outbrake Kevin Winter. He will drive down deep into the corner and brake at the very last second, hold the car in its place, and get through no problem as he gets ready to make a dive to the inside.
Yeah, he's going to dive it down through the back straightaway. Here's where that braking comes in, right? Man, he's so good on the entry right here. He's got to get the momentum coming up on the exit to get by him. Oh, boys.
Let the car drift up.
Go ahead.
Gets right to his back bumper again. It's so close. Kevin Winter doing everything he can to try to get side by side, because I think if he can get side by side, no matter if it's to the inside or the outside, I think Kevin Winter will always have a shot.
Right there with him, we come to 65 on the board. Find out here in a moment if they are going to give him a stage 2 break, or if this will be the stage 2 break, or if that first caution will count. Here we come, Ronald. What do you think? It looks like Mr. Garrison is able to pull away just a little bit more.
Yep, and I'm wondering if Kevin decided he was running a little bit too hard. Again, we don't know for sure, but I believe they counted the stage caution because there's no caution been thrown. So you'll have to go back and look at that. If that was the case, then I believe that Kevin Winter would have been considered your stage winner.
Yeah, I believe so. Kevin Winter would have been there for stage winner in that one.
So now it comes down to strategy.
Yeah, like you said, now we got our answer to that question. If you're winner, do you back off and save your equipment as much as you can?
No, I run it. I run it as hard as I can. Stay as close as I can to him. When I feel it gives out and I'm within my pit window, go get my new stuff and get out in front of him, short pit him, out pit him, get out, get some distance between them, take care of my stuff, and when he comes up, then pour on the coals. Because anytime that you short pit somebody and you're as quick as these two are, if Kevin Winter can stay in his tracks and stay within, let's say, a half a second of them, which I don't think he's going to do right now. He seems like he's falling back a little bit, but if he manages to close it back up, stay within a half second, pits, goes in, gets his tires, comes back out, that is going to put a tick in that other driver's brain that he's probably going to have to do something. When he pits and sees that Kevin Winter is now a second or 2 seconds or whatever in front of him, is going to push the car hard. Smart drivers, they don't make those mistakes. Derrick may not make that mistake, but that's what you got to do if you're in this position. You got to try to make the fastest guy make a mistake, go out there and burn his tires up.
So you're basically looking at a mental game, right?
Yep.
You got to be mentally tough enough to say, okay, this is what I need to do, and stick to the game plan, and not really let your opponent dictate what. Oh, right here we are, and we're gonna drop back through the pack here. Got anything going on? Back a little further, we do actually, and that's Joseph Murata and Landon in a bit of a little battle here. That's 7th and 8th. That is the family's fighting blue number 5, and the M&M 75 going at it. And I tell you what, Landon putting together a good run here tonight inside the top 10. Nice for him. Good smooth run behind them. Dan Witt as well, and Herbie Sadler into the top 10. So later we go. Here comes that number 9 machine. Well, Ronald, you said it earlier, Herbie would come on at the end where he's starting to move his way up through there now.
He just seems to know when and how. Like I said, I want to see a good battle for this championship. Kevin Winter behind the 157 does not look anywhere near as strong as he did in front of the 157.
Yeah, been crazy. 73 on the board this time by.
I would like to know what the pit window is, what the fuel window is, or the tires, or whatever. I'd like to know all that, just for my own purposes, so I can crunch the numbers up here and kind of understand what these guys are going through. And for those of you out there that may or may not understand what you go through so much, not only do you have to focus on your driving out there on the track, but then you have to figure out what is the best strategy to get the best position, the best finish that I can possibly get. Now, right now we know that Kevin Winter is not as fast as Derrick is. So either A, Kevin has to figure out something different to get a little bit faster, or B, he's going to have to out-strategize him. The 94 of Sean Huffstetler is starting to close in on the 78, so that makes it even worse for him.
Yeah, and for Kevin now, it's pretty much a moving chess match. You know, what can I do to put myself, like you said, in the best shot? And I really feel like Kevin, this run, more than any other, has fell off quite a bit more than normal here. Because I don't think he fell off quite this hard earlier on in the race. I think maybe he's used his equipment up a little bit more. And last time by, he was 2/10 slower than Mr. Garrison. And like you said, the 94 right there was a 10th faster as well behind him. Kevin in a rough spot right now.
I think he just came out when he got passed by Derrick and got really aggressive. I think he came out and I think he hurt his car. I think he hurt the tires.
I think in his mind, he knows that this is a big opportunity for him with this championship opponent kind of trapped now in 18th. Because I got to believe Cameron Hearn's not going to be back out here at this point. I think that car may have popped on him, or I do believe we would have seen him back out.
I would agree with that statement.
I mean, technically Cameron could wait another, few laps to come back out, but, you know, I don't see it happening.
No, I think he is. I think he's probably done for the evening.
Well, right now, once Derrick M. Garrison got up front, he is just like a shark smelling water here and just consistently opening that gap up.
Actually, for 2 laps, Kevin was able to hold that same distance. We'll see if he's able to do the same this lap. I don't think so. He just got really loose through 3 and 4.
Yeah, we're going to have to wait and see when they come to pit road. Again, guys, we don't exactly know what the mileage would be. I'm just taking a shot in the dark. I would almost say somewhere around 40-ish, most likely.
Yeah, I guess if it were me, I'd probably split it in half, unless I was really good on the long run, which I think Kevin is struggling on the long run right now. But again, I think he may have hurt his tires. But I think he'll probably split it. They were in around 60. So somewhere around 90, 92, maybe 95 um, for a 30 lap run to the end.
Because honestly, I don't think that the fuel is the problem here. I think the tires are the bigger issue.
Yes, but it's a matter of taking care of your tires and making those laps when you get those tires really count. And like I said, I thought if Kevin could stay within about a half a second of Derrick,
Caution, yellow flag.
And
Oh,
yellow,
we got a
ooh,
caution.
Now, and it
that changed everything.
already going around and have a problem here. And I think he's going to get loose in that number. I won't. It is back bumper back and car comes around. Almost has it saved. Ran out of racing.
Indeed, he almost did have it saved. Unfortunately, he didn't, and that will bring out a caution with 43-ish laps to go, 42. This could be it, actually. I don't know the fuel, but I do know that generally speaking, this is one track where you get a higher
Fuel window, basically.
fuel window. So it'll be interesting to see here if this is it.
Yeah, I kind of concur. I think that I'm betting if we don't get another yellow, most likely. That, folks, unfortunately, I got to step out of the booth just a moment there, Ronald. I'll be right back with you before we go back green, buddy.
Copy that. As we watch Derrick Gerson come into his pits, he gets in nice and clean. So does Kevin Winter. Elliot Hermes, excuse me, missing his pit stall there. You can see that in the background. Derrick getting away first. Kevin will be coming out second, and the rest of the field to follow. Been a pretty good race so far tonight. Couple of cautions, a little bit of trouble for our points leader. One of the other contenders, Kevin Winter, having a pretty good night. He's up in second place. Let's go ahead and see if we can grab Kevin, bring him up here into the broadcast booth, and see if we can get a quick word with the number 78 of Kevin Winter. You got a copy there, Kevin?
Yeah, I got you, bud.
All right. We are on lap 85 of 125. We're kind of clueless up here. Are you guys in the fuel window? Is that something that you can give away? Is it real close, or is it you guys can make it very easily from here?
Oh yeah, we're sitting at 40 laps to go right now with the race, and we're looking at 65, 66 laps on fuel. So we're definitely in a good run of fuel.
Okay. So notice that you had a little bit of trouble on not necessarily on the restart, but when Derrick got side by side, looked like you drove a little bit hard. Did you end up burning your stuff up a little bit at the beginning of that run and then falling off?
Oh yeah, that's when he got in turn one on a really good restart and got his nose underneath us. It pushed us on the outside, and we just tried to fight back to see what the car would do and what he would do, and we definitely abused that right rear. We took a lot out of it, and at that point it was just hanging on to P2 as long as we can until we pitted.
Alrighty, well, you're double foul, getting ready to go back to green flag racing. We wish you the best of luck here tonight, and hope to see you at the end of the race here.
Thanks a lot, bud.
All right, so Kevin Winter goes ahead and lets us know that fuel is not part of the strategy. They had about 60 laps that they could have run. So it would have been interesting to see if no caution would have come out, what would have happened with that. But that is all taken care of now. They got plenty of fuel to go to the end. Derrick Garrison is going to be the man in charge here. They will go when he goes. He's got the race in his hands. He fires off, gets away. Kevin Winter gets a pretty decent restart. Maybe not as good as he would have wanted to. We'll see what kind of changes as we see a few positions behind change. I don't. Looks like Giuliano moves down. Will take over the third position here early. We'll watch Kevin Winter and see if he attacks Derrick or if he kind of lays back. It kind of looks to me like he's laying back a little bit. May have learned something on that prior run.
Yeah, I think so, Ronald. I just got back here, but I do notice he's maybe taking it a little bit more easy this go around.
And while you were away, I actually brought Kevin Winter up. We talked to him. He said their fuel window was 60 laps, so they are good to go on fuel from here to the end. There won't be any need to take any more fuel. But Derrick is out there trying to pull away. The real question is just going to be, how hard is Kevin Winter going to drive it? I think that he's in a good position on the track. I think he's a solid second place car. I don't think things are going right for him right now. He just does not look comfortable like he did earlier in the race.
No, he don't. The car looks to be a bit more dodgy than it was earlier in the race, right? It's wanting to move around more. We didn't see that earlier in the night from him. So I think you're dead on. The car is not where he wants it to be right now. But hey, let's face it, he's still P2, right? Still can bring home a good evening. You know what I mean?
And the track temperature is down to 96 degrees.
Oh, sorry about that, but Winter just about lost it off of turn 4. That could have been a disaster for Kevin Winter.
And I know he took 4 tires. So that's going to open up the gap again. Giuliano coming on strong now here at the end of the race. Didn't look like he had the speed earlier in the race, but something has changed with the track, the car. He seems to be fitting him very well now. I think something's gotten into Kevin's head. Oh, as Anthony Giuliano gets loose, so does Kevin Winter. Winter gets the wall.
Yeah, that's not going to help that car either, smacking that right side up against the wall.
Not going to hurt him. It got it with the right rear corner of the car. It's not going to hurt his speed at all. But I think something's gotten into the head of Kevin Winter. I don't even know how to explain it. But when you're out there and you're running and everything is going right, and then you get past and you do everything that you can possibly do to try to get back to the person in front of you, and it backfires on you, and you start to rethink it and you do things differently, and that doesn't work either. I think Kevin Winter is out of his element right now. This is not the typical Kevin Winter that I'm used to seeing.
No, it's not. And another thing that you got to think about here, Ronald, is, what if, you get out of your mindset like you talked about, but then that being out of the mindset, almost it becomes harder to get back into it, right? It's not like a switch that you put back over once it starts to go wrong.
I think he found the switch. I think it took him a couple laps. I think he's found it. He's more consistent now. He might be a tick slower than Garrison is right now, but I think that he's calmed back down, seems to have the car under control pretty well. He is running it pretty hard, but he seems to have more control of the car.
Definitely more control now than what he did have. Anthony's sitting right there behind him. And the one thing from Winter here tonight, what he doesn't want to do is give me back to Cameron, right? You don't want to give the situation back to, even if you don't win, you want to be in the top 2, top 3 at least, to kind of take advantage of it, right?
Absolutely, as he's actually drifting sideways in 3 and 4. Needs to be careful. It's really early in the run. I think he saw that he closed in on Derrick Gerson the lap prior and tried to duplicate that, maybe push the car a little bit too hard. Meanwhile, Derrick Gerson is just out front driving just smooth. I don't see any wiggles. He's just picking his line that he wants to run, and he's pulling away ever so slightly from Kevin Linden.
It's almost like he's out for a Sunday drive, going to lunch out there out front.
And Kevin lost a little bit of time that last lap, so did Anthony Giuliano. Here comes Sean Huff-Stutler. Not quite close enough to make a challenge for the fourth or for the third position. He's currently fourth. Ira was up in third position at one point. He's now back in sixth place. And Landon Quisenberry, again, we talked about him earlier, very young in his career here in iRacing, finds himself in the fifth position. Joseph Murata in seventh, so he's moved on up. And Hermie Sadler now up into the eighth position.
Yeah, those guys right now, everybody hanging on, top 8. 99 of the 125 complete here. And caution out. Who is it this time? Somebody up against the wall there. That is going to be the 94 of Sean. Oh man, that car all torn up here as well. Again, turn 4 being the problem, and Sean was having such a good run, and right behind Anthony, and the car's just going to get away from him. Ooh,
Yeah.
the inside wall.
What I've been noticing is the guys that have spun, for the most part, they're a little bit off the bottom, and they're still trying to turn down coming off the corner instead of kind of shooting straight out from the bottom and just letting the car drift out. That seems to be the majority of the spins that we've seen tonight. A little bit too much input into the wheel going through the corner, and the rear end just starts to kick out. Well, you're the leader. What do you do?
What do you do? That's
With this many laps, you come down. I'm surprised that I'm not surprised that everybody has come down. Somebody may stay out. Landon Quisenberry stays out. So Landon Quisenberry, who was running in the fifth position, would have moved up to, I believe, would have been fourth because of the attrition of the 94. Elects to stay out here. What do you think? Mistake?
I gotta go with a mistake. I have to go with a mistake. I don't see not getting tires here. I really don't.
I don't either. I think it was a big mistake. Simply because no matter how many cautions there are from this point on, I don't see the leaders coming back down. So if the caution comes out in 5 laps, Landon will probably be the I'd say probably from maybe 7th on back would go ahead and come down pit road. Everybody else would stay out.
And man, it looks like Frost may have stayed out or took some strategy as well. He did come down, but I think Frost may have took 2 tires. So if you're Garrison and Winter here behind these guys on older tires, you got to be really careful on this restart.
Go back and I'll look at Leonard Frost in the pit and see what he did.
It was an 8.9 second stop, so awful quick.
Took right side tires.
Oh boy.
Well, with the low count of laps that we had, it may not be a bad move. However, it is going to loosen the car up, and the car was already loose. So you're just going to take a little bit of finesse driving. I don't and it's nothing against him. I don't think that he can hold. I don't think either one of those cars in front are going to be able to hold. But it will be interesting here because Frost may actually be able to run the outside on Quisenberry, which would allow the 78 possibly to run the high side and keep the 8 trapped behind Quisenberry. So it's definitely not over, folks. We're going to be coming to green on lap 104. We got 125, but technically 126. So 21 laps to decide this.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You said it. Does Garrison get trapped here? That's going to be the big question as we get ready to come to green. What do you think? Here we go.
And Frost did not get a good restart. If he had gotten a good restart and stayed up near Quisenberry, I think that it would have been a different story. But Winter and Garrison get down, and they're gonna blow by Quisenberry right here in 3 and 4.
Yeah,
Kevin Winter doesn't have a choice. He's gonna have to drive aggressively.
Oh, wow. Both cars out of shape, dude. Wow. Oh boy. You said it. They're driving aggressive.
Winter's got it sideways, but he keeps it rolling. He was close enough, but he lost a little bit there. I thought that he might get close enough for a dive bomb, but was unable to. Really overdrove that corner. He's gonna have a hard time getting back to him now.
Yeah, I think that corner right there cost him. He, like you said, he overdrove it, couldn't get it back down. And now Garrison can kind of get back in his groove, right? He's got enough of a little bit of a breathing area here that maybe Garrison can kind of get back to the groove that he was in. Man, oh man, 18 to go. They're side by side behind them. They're back in the pack a little ways. That's Murata and Landon kind of dropping like a stone. But 18 to go, and I'm sure that Winter and these guys don't want to see another caution at this point.
I think Kevin Winter would like to see another caution. I think he wants another crack at Garrison.
Well, he's right there with Garrison, but he just can't close that gap. Get back to his back bumper right now.
Now, Ira has moved himself up into the 3rd position after all of this stuff kind of shook out. Anthony Giuliano was running in the 3rd position prior to all these cautions. Now finds himself in 4th. Leonard Frost, with the 2-tire stop, is holding on to the 5th position, but Joseph Murata and Hermie Sadler on 4 tires, they are coming quick.
Yeah, they are closing in rapidly here. What do you think now that we've seen everything shake out? Do you think Garrison's in the best position up front? Do you think it's kind of his race to lose? Is kind of what I'm thinking.
Oh yeah, up front he's been the best car of the night. Kevin Winter looked very strong up front, but Garrison multiple times made a challenge, stayed with him. But when the roles were reversed, Kevin Winter just can't stay with him. He loses ground slowly but surely. So I think Kevin Winter just got to be smart and take what he can get here. And I don't foresee Garrison making a mistake, but I'm just gonna have to run his race and see if Garrison does make a mistake.
Derrick Gerson up front. 14 laps to go in the A-Shot machine eating right now with Kevin Winter.
Now, Kevin Winter closing the gap.
He's coming.
He's loose, but he did gain that last lap. That corner didn't look the greatest, but I think he may close just a little more here. See at the line with it. Now he lost about a half a tenth. So it's a seesaw battle back and forth. If Kevin has a good clean lap, he seems to close a little bit, but then he ends up, the next lap or driving just a little bit. And this is,
This
You,
is
you can't blame him for doing it.
no, you can't. And, he's got nothing. Well, he does have stuff to lose, but the opportunity here, he is wanting
Caution,
to, and
yellow
caution
flag.
out here as we talk about this. He is wanting to gain as much as humanly possible.
All right, so caution is out for.
And it looks like in the
Another turn 4 victim.
nope. I tell you what, turn 4, 8 cars alive here, and they all look the same, right? Everybody's trying to turn in on exit.
Yeah, maybe show an in-car of his wheel.
No, let's
The
do that.
input on his wheel. Go to the do an in-car as he goes through turn 4.
Let's do that. Let's
See
do
how much wheel he's got into it coming off the corner.
we'll go roll
It wasn't a lot.
a little bit. One more look at where we can see it more clearly here.
It seems like just that little bit of a twitch to the right is what got him.
And you see how where he's turning off a 2, but turning 4 down here is a little bit different. Inner looks fine, a little bit, yeah, a little bit too much. I wonder.
Remember when I said, who would pit, who wouldn't? Hermie Sadler was the first one that came down. Landon Quisenberry now pits. That will line them up. Whoever comes out first in the 10th position by not pitting on that first one. Now, these two are going to be faster than everybody else, so it's going to be interesting to see that too.
Yeah, it will be. We're going to have 10, less than 10 to go. Fresher tires back here. And the cautions may not be over yet, and that's the thing. This strategy could maybe still work out if everything works. So,
I don't know. Man, that's tough. I think if I was Kevin Winter, I would have come down pit road there.
yeah, I can't tell you how many races, man, I've lost a pit strategy like this.
Well, I think that he's lucky that pretty much everybody, not everybody, but a lot of cars stayed out. Nine cars total stayed out, so he has a buffer. He can probably bring it home in second place, but I know he wants to win.
Yeah, you know he does. I don't know. You got to do what's best and what's smart in this situation, right?
If he would have stayed out and everybody else would have come down, then it would look really, really bad. If he'd have gone down and everybody followed him, he'd look like a genius. But you never know who's going to go and when they're going to go, especially when there's only, I don't know how many green light checkers. Let me look here.
Is an 8 to go for the lights to go off. 8 to go here. Got Winter, Garrison up front. Man, I still think this is probably Derrick M. Garrison's race to lose if he gets a good restart here, regardless of what Winter does on the outside. But if Garrison stumbles at all on the restarts, it can hand this race over to Kevin Winter in a heartbeat. With just 7 to go when we get the restart here from Phoenix, Arizona. And of course, this league will head out to Homestead Miami Speedway next Friday night for their season finale. And the question to be answered is, how close will Kevin Winter be to Cameron Hearn when we get to South Florida next week? Well, we're getting ready to get our answers. Restart behind the iRacing pace car. Winter and Garrison front row. Garrison, good restart, great jump
Green flag.
for the 8, exactly what he needed. Wow, great restart for that number 8 machine. Everybody will fall in line. Now we got to watch for fresher tires coming from behind. Landon's already picked up 1, now 2 spots. Going to be under Hermie Sadler. Converse will be next. Up front, Garrison leads here at Phoenix Motor Speedway right now. Man, Ronald, I just think Garrison's way too strong for him.
I do too. He's continuously pulled away on every restart. It takes Kevin a few laps to get into a rhythm. By the time he gets into a rhythm, he's lost too much time to try to gain it back. I know he's trying to outbrake him in the corners. That's what Kevin is trying to do here. I think he's just going to have content with the second place finish, but just kind of curious here to see what happens with Hermie Sadler and Quisenberry, if those new tires are going to pay off or not.
Well, they're definitely coming, but I don't think they're going to get to the race leaders. But a top 5 might be where they'll wind up here as Hermie picks up 7th there off of turn 4. 5 laps to go here.
Winter sideways, gonna lose second place to Anthony Giuliano. Gonna cut to the inside, gonna try to get back to his inside, gonna try to outbrake him here. Gets the inside of him. Be a drag race off the corner here.
Right.
Down the front stretch. Kevin Winter has an insane amount of rear brake in that car trying to get it to turn. That's why he got so sideways there.
Oh, you see that car twitch here, Ron? Wow. These guys are going after it.
Oh, almost a touch there. That would not have been intentional, as the 66 almost loops it.
2 laps to go here at Phoenix Raceway. Will they make it back to the white flag? And I think Winter has used up everything he's got. Ooh, in that car as he gets the wall. And oh boy.
That was a save of saves right there. He was sideways 3 times. Not going to be what Kevin Winter wants it to be at the end of this race, but you're going to have to fight hard and hold on here for a 4th place finishing position.
Oh man, up the racetrack, man. This is not good for Winter. That car is out of shape again. And wrecking below him.
But the caution will possibly come out now.
Well, we're on the 1 to go lap here, so we're good to go.
1 to go.
Garrison's going to get the win, and Winter sideways. Look at him drive this machine. And Ronald, he is going to bring it home. P4 with him wrecking, and he gets through. Or P6, excuse me. Wow. So Derrick and Garrison got the win.
Definitely not what Kevin Winter wanted. We definitely know that. But we'll get these guys up here, get them ready for interviews.
Looks like your final results is Garrison, Anthony, and look at that. The 66 Machine RE right there in 3rd. How about that? Well, who will you say we talked to?
Well, I don't see Garrison, so let's go ahead and just start with Ira.
Yep, can't vote. Hey, Ira, it's Matt and Ronald in the booth. You got a copy? Yeah, Ira, Matt and Ron in the booth. You got a copy on us, man?
All right, we're gonna go ahead and set him down.
Yes, sir. I got you. Sorry.
There he goes.
Alrighty, man. Well, look at you coming on P3 here tonight. Great run out there, buddy.
Yeah, I was hoping it was going to go green there with that self-spin. It kind of took my long-run plan out of the picture. But, yeah, it's good racing with these guys.
Well, man, we haven't seen you much out there this season. Not exactly sure how many races you ran, but great run into the top 3.
Yeah, this was my first one. Got invited to come out Tuesday night, finished P3 there in the Xfinity race, so I could run tonight. And Anthony said that he knew we were fast coming in, so he didn't have any problem with us running, but I'll be here next season for sure.
Well, man, you did a great job first time in a Cup car. How much different is it when you get in one of these Cup cars versus the Xfinity machine?
It's totally different. There's so much more downforce. It's not funny, but you can still kill your tires running really, really fast for the first 5 laps trying to pick up some spots. And that's one thing I had to train myself not to do. Just take it nice and slow, find a spot, get in there and ride, save your stuff, and catch them on the long run.
In format, well, you did a great job here all evening long doing that, just that, with that strategy. Great run for that Pepsi number 66 machine. Anybody you'd like to thank, man?
Yeah, I got to thank Pepsi for coming on board, and David Sparks, my boss, he got us this Pepsi sponsorship, and Cooper Creek Synthetics, RJS Automotive, Randy and Jennifer Sellers, they watch most of the races. Got to thank my teammate Brandon Massey, the Old Shed and VIP Racing, or VIP Graphic and Design, Amsoil, and got to thank my older brother Sam, who's been my spotter for the last few races, and he's going to keep doing that.
Well, man, great job your first time out here tonight. Bringing her home third here. Congratulations, buddy.
Thank you, sir.
Alrighty, there you have it. Mr. Ronald, if you want to yak with Anthony here for P2.
Alrighty, Mr. Anthony Giuliano. This is Mr. Ronald Klein and Matthew Johnson in the booth. Got a copy on us.
Yeah, fellas, how y'all doing?
Oh, we're doing pretty good. We just enjoyed watching some racing here at Phoenix. Different stages of the race. You looked strong, then you didn't look very strong, then you looked strong again. There, right towards the end of the race, you looked really strong. You got past Kevin Winter and started chasing the leader down. A few more laps. Think anything might have changed in the position?
Yeah, I'm not real sure. The first stage, I tried to burn the tires to see, how hard I could push it before it started to wear out, and figured that out real quick. Dropped back like 5th or 6th. Kevin got a little loose, starting to get in gas a little bit too quick. Looked like we were kind of running away, but yeah, I don't know what happened at the end of the race there. I don't think anybody had anything for Garrison, but after the green flag dropped, I was able to pass Winter. And it looked like I was pulling up on him, so no real rhyme or reason to it, but I don't have a clue. Maybe a couple of laps I probably could have got to him.
It was definitely an impressive run overall throughout the night. You started off 7th, made your way up to 2nd. Clue us in real quick on points if you can. What are there any bonus points for stages?
No, so next season we'll introduce the stage points. So as of right now, it looks like it's going to be Kevin Winter and Cameron Hearn, because he had a pretty substantial lead coming into this race. They'll be battling out for the lead or for the win next week. So that's going to be one to tune in to watch with those two, because both fast, no matter what track we go to. Cameron had a rough night tonight, but like I said, he was well enough ahead. So they'll even out next week, and they'll go for broke.
We'll copy that. Now, getting back to you, again, impressive night running all throughout the field, figuring out what to do, what not to do. Do you think that, and I know I don't want you to put words into Kevin's mouth, but do you think that Kevin could have done something different? Because he went from 2nd and fell all the way back to 6th, so he loses 4 points there. Is there something, because you were behind him, was there something that you saw him doing? Because we talked to him earlier in the race about, going out there, and it looked like he kind of ate up the tires when Derrick got around him for the very first time, and then a caution came out. Was it a similar thing, or did the track change, or because his car just never looked very settled?
Yeah, the track got cooler as the race was going on. It got from 113 all the way down to 93. So it's a pretty substantial change. And I think he was trying to push it a little bit harder each lap. And I actually started backing my corners up where right there at the end, I was actually catching them, and one was my worst corner all night until that last run. So yeah, I think he just kind of ate those tires up pretty good. Got into the wall twice, not a ton of damage, but I think he said he had 13 seconds, something like that. But you do that a couple of times, overdrive trying to catch the guy in front of you, and it's one of those tracks where you kind of have to underdrive to get there, which is that's tough for any driver to do, to slow down to go faster kind of deal. But yeah, he definitely burned him up. Yeah, he learned from it just a little too late, but he had a fast car all night, no doubt.
Well, congratulations on your second place finish. Is there anybody that you'd like to give a shout out before we let you go?
Yeah, man. Thank you guys. Thank Extreme Sim TV, everything you guys do for us. Families Fighting Flu, obviously, for sponsoring the race. We want to thank some of our sponsors coming on next year: Grid Finder, Butt Kicker, Sim Speed Shop, Pro Sim Tech, and I'll plug myself with Wilder Graphics as well. So, putting out some paints in the league. So. And also my wife, obviously, for letting me come up and do this stuff. We all say we're only going to do it, 1 or 2 nights a week, and ends up being 4 or 5. So she takes one on the chin so I can come up here, have a little fun, and get out of the real world for a little bit.
All righty. Well, thank you for the kind words. Again, congratulations on the second place finish tonight. Go down and celebrate with your teammates, and have a great night.
Yep, we're going to have a beer for you, man. Appreciate you.
Alrighty. Roger that.
Third, how you doing, man? Yeah, I mean, this is fun. This is a fun little racetrack, and yeah, I'm glad I won on a Friday night. I'm usually doing some winning on Saturday nights, but winning on a Friday, it feels good. First win in this league, man, in the Cup cars, so that's definitely pretty cool. So, how'd you like the race? Uh, 13. Yeah, man. I appreciate you broadcasting all these races, man. You do a phenomenal job. Week in, week out, you do a great job. So, give a pat yourself on the back, man. You do a good job. So, we at the Roval. I might have to get some rest for these arms, man. I ain't used to turning right very much. All right. Thank you, man.
Yeah, whatever works. Yep, as long as it works. I thought there was some pretty good racing out there. I wish the car setup was a little better. I don't think that there was like a multiple groove type setup racing ability after a couple of laps on the tires. That's one thing in iRacing that I wish would hold true. Homestead, Michigan, Kansas, some of these tracks in real life where you see the guys run the wall and be faster than the guys on the bottom, you just never see that in iRacing. I think there's one track, I can't remember off top. It's a mile and a half where you have to run the top side to be fast in iRacing. But um, at one point they kind of had a little bit of it going on in iRacing, and I really wish that it would come back. Um, 2-lane racing is some of the best racing out there. Just and it's nothing against the league. It wasn't a very entertaining race for me tonight. And it's not because um oh
There,
geez, I
there,
don't have it up in front of me, but
there's nothing they can do really. Like you said, it's one groove everywhere we go tends to be the problem.
yeah. I mean there was a little bit of a change in the groove in 3 and 4, where you could force it too wide, but you couldn't go to the outside and pass. And I mean, that may be kind of true with some flat tracks to a degree, but you see it in NASCAR. So I don't know. I enjoyed the race. I thought there was good racing, but I wish that there was a little more competitive racing with the track and the car setup.
Yeah, and actually, funny enough, we're talking about this. There's actually a podcast coming out soon that I'm going to be a special guest on. That we're strictly talking about 2-lane racing, and it's across the board. It's on asphalt and dirt too. It's the same problem. We're just not getting that 2-lane racing that we've seen a couple of builds back, probably 2 years ago now.
Yeah, it's been a good long while, but getting back to the race tonight, I mean, there's just was it Derek? Is that his name? I'm sorry, I'm horrible with names.
I believe that, yes, sir.
Um, Derek was the class of the field. Uh, Kevin Winter looked strong early, and I think he kind of bit himself at the end of the race. I think he was trying to get to the win instead of just staying in second place. And then once he was just trying to stay in second place, he just kind of started to crumble. So, um, what could have been a really good night for Kevin Winter kind of went a little bit sideways. He lost a few more points. We don't know what the final score is yet. You'll know that going into next week. Hopefully, there will be a close enough gap in points where it's not just kind of a gimme. And I mean, there's something to say for that too, though, right? A guy who runs all year like they used to in NASCAR, and sometimes the championship was done 2 races before the end of the season. I mean, they already knew who was going to win the championship, so it can go both ways. I'm a fan of I'm a fan of close racing, and I'm a fan of close points racing, simply for that last race to really mean everything to everybody. And I get why NASCAR does the chase, but sometimes the best car all year long in a chase can just be taken out of a championship. So I'm also, while I'm a fan of what they try to do, I'm also not a fan of what it does to certain drivers. Like Kevin Harvick last year would be a good example. I think that I'm not a huge NASCAR fan anymore, but I do know that he was really successful. And then because of the chase, just how it happened, he ends up getting knocked out of the chance for another championship. So we'll see next week. Tune in right here at Extreme Sim TV to find out who's going to be the champion in the LSRL series.
We'll find out right back here next week, folks. But as always, big thank you to Ron for coming up with us here tonight. We're going to get ready to shut her down for the evening. We'll see you in Homestead, Miami, Florida next Friday evening to settle this out. And again, 2 drivers are going in, Kevin Winter, Cameron Hearn. Find out who's going to walk out the LSRL Families Fighting Flu champion. Well, folks, for everybody home, until then, everyone stay safe. Have a great night, and we'll see you in the next one.